back, everyone, to a brand new TV show spoiler review here in Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. Today we're talking about episode 3 of the HBO and DC show The Penguin. This episode's titled Bliss, the new drug that is in the show. So if you're new, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Get us 250 subscribers as quickly as possible by hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell for notifications. Please, I do movie and TV show reviews, box office show every single Tuesday, out of theater reactions, and movie franchise rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. Is this your favorite, least favorite episode of the show? Where do you think we're going with the show? I respond to every single comment. So have fun in the comment section down below. Give your spoiler thoughts on what could be happening next in The Penguin. And also, please like the video. So overall, sorry I am a bit late. I was busy on Sunday night into Monday, so I didn't have time to film a review and get it out for you guys on Monday. So again, back up next week. I should be good for this Monday. My review for episode 4 will be on the channel. So sorry I'm like 2 days late on posting my review, but I thoroughly, really love this show, and I do. And this episode I think was extremely strong because it's been a lot about kind of the first episode was a lot about Oz, learning about his life. The second episode was a lot about Sophia Falcone, the ins and outs of her character. And this episode, I think, was the most emotionally resonant because Victor is the person that we're looking at through his eyes in the episode. And he is definitely the heart and soul of the show because he's the person that us as an audience member, this is a very obviously fantasy-like show. 95% of these people are not good people who we relate to, but Victor is someone we can relate to because we, as an audience member watching the show, can put our decision making, our opinions onto Victor's character. And this episode, the cold open to the episode is Victor's perspective of the flood in the Batman. How he has a very tight knit family. Dad was a mechanic. And his parents worked their entire lives and they lived in the worst area of the city in Gotham. Crown Heights, I think is what it was called. And Victor goes up on the roof with his girlfriend and he sees his family get flooded and killed by the Riddler's flood in the Batman. And it kind of gives him kind of like not PTSD, but a lot of panic attacks, and that sets up later in the show. But Victor really comes from nothing. No one really ever respected him outside of his girlfriend. And that is this Oz relationship really builds. And the scene behind me is a really strong scene between obviously the performances of Colin Farrell and Renzi Felice, but the characters themselves, because Oz, even though he, kind of gave him a hard lesson in episode 2, you can tell he has feelings and cares about Victor. Victor has this speech impediment where he, struggles to speak certain words. And it's very similar to Oz's walk, how his, people call him the Penguin. And he kind of relates to him and has been in Victor's shoes before and wants to send him on. Obviously, this is not a great path to be on, obviously, but somewhat of a path where he can make a life for himself. And Victor even opens up to Oz, and it's a really good scene where the waiter comes over, asks for their food, and Victor is stuttering, and he can't say, after steak frites, he can't say the frites part of steak frites, and the waiter interrupts him and finishes the sentence for him, and Oz says, "Don't ever do that again. You got to let him finish. The man was speaking." He gets it out, and then Victor says he really didn't have to do that. And Oz says, everyone's on, we're on borrowed time, basically. Take your time. You're the one talking. He respects Victor. Yes, he wants him to do his job at a very high level, but he's put himself in a situation where Victor feels comfortable enough to open up to him. And obviously, the Penguin used that against him towards the end of the episode. But Victor also has a one-on-one meeting with his girlfriend, who I hadn't seen since he disappeared with Oz, who's the character of Graciela, is played by Nira Kim Omoda. Very strong performance in the show. They have very good chemistry. She basically tells him, actually, tomorrow I'm going to California. Don't know how a bus trip from New York and California, from Gotham to California makes any sense. That's a cross-country trip, But I guess because of the flooding, there's no plan. I have no idea. But for some reason, she's taking a bus from Gotham to California. And and I got so much panic, nervousness because he was basically having her hang out with her at Oz's place. And at first, he tells him that he's just a guy who runs a club. And Oz also pays him $1,000 per week. And he's never seen that type of money so much at the same time. So for him, that's a very big deal. But they're having the conversation. He clearly wants to be with her, and he gives her money, says, "Save me a spot. I'll be there tomorrow." And the whole point is that, Victor basically has seen himself so far as Oz's hostage, that he can't get out of this situation because if he does, someone will down the line kill him. He feels like he's a prisoner to Oz throughout the show, and Oz puts him in his place when him and Sophia Falcone go to the party, and Oz, Victor's like, "I got to get out of here." And Oz like, "You can go. If you want to go, just go." And then, Victor's explaining himself, and he says, "You really think you're a prisoner?" And then he pulls a gun on him. He's like, "Is this really what you feel like you're under on a daily basis?" Victor then leaves, and Victor has to make it pretty much a life decision. Will he throw away his life where he's from and be with his girlfriend in California and just start up at basically, again, ground zero? Or does he see himself with, he's making $1,000 a week. He seems respected enough by Oz. And this could be a life for himself. And the fact that the world doesn't respect him, and so he has to make it up for himself. And Victor makes a decision. He watches his now probably ex-girlfriend get on the bus, and he goes back and gets Oz out of that situation towards the end of the episode. So I thought from a Victor character point, this was probably the strongest character arc of the entire show so far. I thought it was really strong, well acted by Feliz, and very well executed from a storytelling and script perspective. Obviously, with Oz and Sophia, they are going back. When we learned this week that Oz is the one who sold out Sophia to her father, Carmine, 10 years prior to the show and the Batman, which set up Sophia to go to Arkham. Now, they obviously had a very close relationship because obviously Carmine at Oz, we learned also was Sophia's driver. But clearly Carmine knew that Oz knew something very personal about Sophia, which could get her enlisted into Arkham. And while Sophia really can't trust anyone, she still really doesn't, for the most part, trust Oz. It's kind of the only person she can kind of trust here at the most. So they kind of go back and forth. Oz sets up the meeting. Sophia kind of capitalizes and shows Oz what the drug is. So obviously Oz has to lie and say that, Alberto never told him what the drug was about. And it's this drug that they got in Arkham that treats Arkham patients, which I find very interesting how, first of all, it got into Arkham, who's administering all this drug to Arkham people, and then how is it getting out? They have the Johnny Viti thing where they run in and basically Oz and Sophia are catch Johnny V with her uncle's wife. They have that on Johnny Viti, so they need Viti to basically tell them to set up the deal. But again, Johnny Viti basically toys with Oz, calls him the Penguin in a demeaning way. And then Oz shows his phone in his mouth. It was really like grotesque because the phone's breaking and stuff. And you can't really mess with Oz in that way. But towards the episode, it feels like a really strong heart-to-heart is going on between Oz and Sophia. They're on the same page. And then the Maronis show up and say, "We've been watching you the whole time. How are you gonna pay us?" And it feels like a completely double cross. And that's when Victor comes in, snatches up Oz, and they leave Sophia behind. So Oz is in not a good situation where now he's being seen by all these different people. He's still not known to be the one who killed Alberto, but he's definitely just not in the right place because there's three different parties going on. You have the Maronis, the Falcones, and Sophia. And right now he might have left Sophia hanging. We'll see. He did have a call with the Falcones, with the Maronis when Sophia made her way into his apartment. So I don't know if this was like a planned thing or not. But overall, I just love this show. It's very deep. It has a really good character arcs, character dynamics, really well acted. The score is great. And again, Gotham feels like a character in the show, not just a city where the show takes place. So That's my thoughts on episode 3 of The Penguin. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I'll be back next Monday breaking down the new episode of The Penguin.